The MLB announces the addition of the Spring Breakout Game to add in the Prospect Games tournament. What does this mean for the Mariners and the future of prospects? Let's dive into it and more.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
Welcome back to Up West Sports. We got the usual suspects back in here, Emily and Kyle. We got some kind of cool stuff to talk about. Obviously, the World Baseball Classic is about and everything, and there was an absolute shellacking 27-6. But some other cool announcements. First things first, we're getting into the Spring Breakout Game, which is announced for Friday, March 20th, and the roster has been put together. It's what we got it going on. There's also some other cool stuff that's going on with the Spring Breakout. Can't talk tonight. Spring Breakout games starting in 2027 are now going to be in tournament style, which I couldn't be happier about. But we're going to kick it over to you guys about your thoughts here. First things first, when you're seeing these names, who sticks out to you? Who are you excited to see? This Spring Breakout Game, it's been going on for just a couple years now. Who you guys excited to see from this list here? We'll throw it over to Emily first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see some of these pitchers play. Maybe some of our less known guys that we've been talking about a lot. I know we've talked a lot about Kate Anderson and Ryan Sloan and some of these other guys who have already gotten a little bit of time in spring training. A lot of these guys have, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of these other pitchers. I know we were talking earlier today about Lucas Kelly, and I think that seeing how the different pitchers line up will be really fun. The Spring Breakout Game is one of my favorite things all year, so just kind of seeing how some of these pitchers shake out will be really fun. Yeah, Griffin Hugues is another one I like to watch too, so it'll be good.
Yes, there is a couple pitchers in there. Definitely Lucas Kelly. He was one of my favorite draft picks last year. Kind of submarine, maybe not quite submarine, like low 3/4 sidearm, kind of Paul Sewaldish, and was like 95, 97 in one of the games that I saw at Arizona State. Big fan of Lucas Kelly. Nosey, what about you? Who sticks out from this list? Who are you excited to see? What are you excited about?
I mean, I think you can look at your usual suspects. You have Kate Anderson, Ryan Sloan, and then, Arroyo, Celestine, Emerson, and then your outfielders, Johnny Parmello. And, he was a hot commodity coming through the system until he had that ACL. I think he's probably now fully healthy. I think probably he's at least a year away from it. And then, Ryland Thomas is a guy I think we've seen him small spurts in the major league team. So, I mean, it's exciting, right? Because you get to see these guys just kind of on a more maybe national stage than probably what we're used to seeing just on these little, spurts here and there. But it also, I think, gives an opportunity to say, okay, do we have some fringe pieces? Like if you looked at that infield list, shortstop. And if we had some other guys that we just recently traded, you would have seen shortstop. So I'd love to be able to see some of these guys, you see Michael Arroyo there at second base. Do you try him at third? I think I only saw, was it Brock Roden? And then there was one more guy that was a third baseman. So it's that this is a good opportunity to potentially kind of experiment a little bit too. And of course these guys, they're trying to move up the ranks the fastest they can. So it's, it's going to spur that competition and, we want to see the best out of guys, or we'll see the worst out of guys. And it kind of gives you an idea of, okay, are they cut from the cloth that we want to move into our major league team?
Yeah. And one of the reasons I really, really do like this, and I understand the lashback that I've seen just in different discourses, whether it be on Twitter or just anywhere else, talking about, well, I don't like this. it's been mainly because we're having guys that are just entering, into that realm of minor league baseball, like Yorger Batista, and they're playing against guys like Rylan Thomas and guys that have been in the organization for a little bit, or at least in minor league baseball for a little bit, and they're thinking that the disparity between the two is that far. Yes, there is a little bit of that. I don't think it's going to diminish their development. I think what you're seeing, especially when it changes to next year, when it's an actual tournament and you're playing for something, you're going to see a little bit of that World Baseball Classic ish. You're going to see these guys start banding together, and that's the big thing for me, is having these guys actually start gaining that chemistry. Even if it's just for a little bit, the gaining of the chemistry. So when you elevate these guys to the major league level, they're already used to playing with each other. That's one of my favorite things about this, is not only are you getting to see all of them on one stage, but they're gaining chemistry. They're getting the play with each other and everything. The other person I'm really excited about, Nick Becker. We got a small sample size of him in Modesto last year. Just pulling up his stats right now. He had 6 games, 28 plate appearances, 24 bats, 5 hits, 9 strikeouts, 4 walks, slash 208, 321, and 208 on the slugging as well. So I'm excited to see what he may do. But seeing this infield with Cole Emerson, Felton Celestine, Nick Becker, Michael Arroyo, and to add on to that flavor of these guys playing with each other and chemistry building and all that stuff, guys like Nick Becker and Yorger Batista being able to play with those older guys. I mean, it's having that big brother around and being able to kind of lean on it. It's having the freshmen play with the seniors. When Seattle U goes to play UW and beats them, and I know Nosey loves that. And if Peyton Knowles is out there, we got you, buddy. We got you on that one. I saw that midweek matchup not terribly long ago, so that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, and I wanted to kick it to you guys for your thoughts. Do you have any reservations about these guys playing with each other? I gave my spiel, but don't let that influence your decision. What's your guys' thoughts on these guys as they're younger, 17, 18 years old, playing with 23, 24, 25-year-olds? Is there any reservations that you guys have you on that?
No.
I mean, not really. So I was just thinking about my oldest son yesterday. He had his first flag football practice, and he told me, he's like, Mom, he's on a much different team this year. And he says, Mom, he's like, I'm really glad that I'm not the best person on this team, because I'm actually going to learn how to play. And I think that that's really something that a lot of these young guys, like what you were saying, Gav, like, they're going to learn so much, even just in a short period of time. Like, obviously they're learning in spring training, they're learning as they're playing these games, and they're getting to know each other. But to play with other prospects who understand, like, we're still in that minor league space, they know what that's like. I just think there's so much value to that. And especially as we carry it on, and we're not there yet, but as we carry it on to more of a tournament style next year, I just think there's so much more skin in the game, and there's so much more ownership over that, because there is something to play for. I think it's just going to band them together even more. So yeah, no, I don't have any reservations about it at all. But.
And now I'm going to take it from kind of the ugly side of professional sports. It's a business. And if you think about tryouts, things like that, what better way to figure out if you've got something or if you don't have something than getting them in really good competition? So you get these young guys against these top guys. Again, these windows of kind of, okay, what do we have? Is it something worth developing? Is it worth taking up a roster spot? Again, they cut the minors, a few years ago. We don't have all these different, all these different classes anymore. So it's, you kind of have to be, if we have somebody on these rosters, like, they've got to be something we're going to develop. Otherwise, why are we, taking up a space? So getting these guys there and saying, okay, kind of sink or swim. Let's see what you've got. Okay, they'll figure out, okay, even if a guy struggles, there's things we can teach her. There's teachable moments. There's teachable attributes here. Or it's, yeah, we didn't see this before. I don't know if this is going to move, if we can move forward with this person. So to me, from the business side of things, getting these guys in competition, higher levels of competition sooner, gives you an idea really of where they are and where you can see them in the next, 3, maybe 4 years. So from that side of things, I love this because you're going to make sure that you've got people on your roster that you're developing to get to the major league level. That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And we noticed that Cole Emerson is also on this, and he's kind of fighting for a roster spot. The question I wanted to ask you guys, and it's been a small sample size. We've seen him up with the boys, and he's getting more playing time now that the World Baseball Classic is kind of underway and everything. Has Cole Emerson wowed you enough to make sure that he makes this roster, or is it still something where you're like, all right, I still want to see another couple of weeks, or do you think that we're taking off with him, starting off in AAA? We'll start with Kyle.
I think absolutely it's AAA. I think a guy that's that young, that much team control, if you're not bringing him up to play, I mean, what do you think? I mean, to be like your 7th inning replacement or a spot starter, giving a guy a day off after 5 days, all I think you're doing is just having him rot on the bench. I just don't see how anyone gets better from that, especially at that age, right? Like if you Ryan Bliss, a little bit older, he's kind of more of I think, he's more seasoned. He can kind of do that. He can sit, jump, and go. I mean, Cole Emerson's still getting into his man strength. There's a lot going on right now, and I think you've got to keep that development continuing to ascend, and it doesn't ascend if he's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I agree. Emily, go ahead.
I was just going to say the same thing. I think that barring an injury to somebody who, like, I just don't see any way that it's beneficial to Colt for him to be up at the opening day. I agree that, I mean, this kid's what, 21? Like there's probably parts of his brain that are being fully developed yet, right? Like this is the reality of you're barely out of your teens. Like he's so much better off unless he's really needed. Because the last thing we want, like you said, Kyle, is for him to just be sitting on the bench and waiting for a turn. Like he's way better off having daily, like being in the lineup every day, having consistent at bats, continuing to develop, so that when inevitably he needs to be that, in the lineup every day or be available for more daily at bats, then he's ready for that versus just sitting around. I mean, I would love to say that the answer is yes, because I think he's great, but I don't think it's best for the team or for him.
Now, the reason why I asked that, go ahead.
I wanted to add to that. I think right now what Colt is, and we talked about this in the last episode, like for me, I think he's 2 years out from taking over a spot. Like that's kind of where I think he's at, fully taking it on. Well, doesn't mean he can't be serviceable to the team, but I think in AAA, it's like, hey, you're going to play in a set. If we play 7 straight days or whatever it is, in 7 games, you're going to play 3 at short, 2 at second, and 1 at third. Like we're going to get you into that Dylan Moore utility type of feel. So when we do bring you up, you've got at least enough innings underneath you that it's not like you're, Johnny on the spot. Like you're good to go. Okay. Hey, you've played 100 innings here. You've played, whatever it is. Like that would be my goal for him. I think at AAA is get him ready to be, inserted into that utility role. Cause to me, whoever makes that a camp in those utility roles, you've got guys sitting in AAA that are chomping at the bit. And to me, that is one of the most interchangeable positions we've got aside from right field. So it's, hey, like if he starts performing, we start seeing him doing really well in these multiple positions. Someone's struggling, Master Boney's struggling, or whoever, takes on that utility role. Want to swap you out. Colt, you're in. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And the reason why I asked that question is because I just didn't know if anything had changed in your opinion. Have you seen anything that would sway you one way or another? Because we didn't get to talk about this offline before we jumped on here. I think we're all in the same boat, though. I think he starts off in AAA. I think you have Ryan Bliss, Master Boney, them two kind of duke it out for the utility spot. And then you have Brendan Donovan. You got Cole Young, which the team's in love with Cole Young. So I don't think no matter what he does over spring training, I think Cole Young is not only does he have a roster spot, I think he's going to be somewhere starting, whether that be Brendan Donovan over at third and Cole Young at second base. And then you have either Masterboni or Bliss. I think Bliss is going to get the call up because I think he still has another option or two, and Masterboni is out of options. So, yeah, I think that's the route they're going to take. They're going to try and find at least another 50 plate appearances for Cole Emerson in AAA before making that next step up. Or yeah, again, barring injuries, barring 0 for 50 from Ryan Bliss or something like that. I think that's the only way that you kind of move in that direction. Speaking of Cole Emerson and kind of in not the greatest light, we love Cole Emerson, so I don't ever want to do this again. But today's game, holy smokes, 27-6. He went over 3. That's the I'll leave it there. Over 3 with the strikeout. I'm not gonna bury the guy anymore than we're already kind of talking negative on him. 27-6. There's not a ton that you could say. Obviously, we went through the pitching staff and there really wasn't much going on. But thoughts from the game? Was there anything positive that you guys saw from today's game? Emily, we'll start with you this time.
I mean, I really liked the Jared Sundstrom home run. That really meant nothing, and we all knew it meant just about nothing by the time it happened. But he was somebody else I was looking at when we were looking at the list for the spring breakout game. He's another one I've enjoyed watching. He's definitely contributed offensively here and there through spring training, and I think he's fun to watch. And then, of course, Rob Refsnyder, the lefty masher, just nuked one out of the park this morning. But I don't ever want to get down. I mean, again, it's spring training, and like I said in my video today, it's easy when it's your when it's your team that loses really bad. It's it's spring training, doesn't matter. But guaranteed the Padres were very happy with the game today. So, I mean, it's fun to see some guys contributing, but it was rough for sure.
It was definitely rough. Nolsey, did you see anything positive, or I don't know if you got to watch the game or at least get to see the box score or highlights?
I mean, no one got hurt.
Hey, there we go.
That's a win.
We finished the game.
That's kind of
yeah. I mean, you can't really say Cole Emerson, is over 3 with a K. Everybody on the team had a K minus 2 people. Our pitching staff, all of them gave up a home run, but 2. And of the 2 guys that didn't give up a home run, one guy gave up 5 earned runs. The other guy gave up an earned run without giving up a hit. I mean, throw a flipping coin up in the air, go grab a lotto ticket. I mean, at this point, it's I don't know what else can happen.
To be honest, that was the only way I could really segue talking about Cole Emerson into that. But yes, he wasn't the only guy one.
The guy that probably throws the slowest in our pitching staff today had the most Ks. Casey Lawrence had 4 Ks. I mean, I don't know how else to call. I mean, I love Casey Lawrence. Guy's got great stuff. I love his stuff. I actually hope he's able to kind of come in. I think he's a great leader, and it's a great changeup, right? If you have everyone that just throws hard, people can hit hard, but people can't hit movement, I think, when it comes down to it. But
for sure.
And then shout out to Army Chow Mein, get Emerson innings at 3rd in Tacoma fast. So if whatever the M's roll out on opening day isn't panning out by mid-May, he can kind of already be ready. And I agree. I think that
I completely agree.
I agree. The tough part of that as well is that you obviously think maybe I'm the only one thinking this, but I think he's your shortstop of the future. I think that's kind of what we're building him up to, and kind of the send off of JP Crawford, whether it be to another position or whether it be to another team. So that's the other thing is I'd love for this kid to get, if you can groom him the exact right way, you want him to get shortstop. But for what this team needs right now, and the kid can do it. We've seen him throw. He moves left and right extremely well. Yeah, he's got to go get the innings at 3rd base. He's got to go get those defensive reps, and hopefully he gets a ton of time with Perry Hill before he has to take off to Tacoma and everything. But I'm just excited to see what that kid can do at the next level. And yeah.
And I think, before you go, I think the biggest thing is if we're going to, if you're going to take over JP, I don't think anyone's questioning Colt's glove, but it's the at-bats. I mean, you look at what JP does. JP, if you were talking about Gold Glove or golden, Silver Slugger 9-hole hitters, and like how that position is, it's J.P. Crawford. The guy might not have a 300 batting average, but his on base is off the charts.
I mean,
and you need that. So if you're going to take over JP's spot, he's got to be able to do that. And right now, looking at a guy that's got one walk over 5 Ks, that's not going to cut it.
Well, you make a good point there, because we got JP and Victor that we're probably going to have at the bottom of our lineup. And with the ABS out this year, JP is very, very good at owning the zone. He knows. There's been a couple times where I've seen him like get mad, and I'm like, that was actually strike 3, buddy. But it's not very often. He knows the zone very, very well. So I think the ABS is going to enhance his game. I think the OBP, I think the OBP will go up in correlation with the ABS being in here and everything. But yeah, I'm super excited. Back on the topic of today's game, the one positive mine was the Ref Snyder home run. It was off of a lefty, and we got to see him go opposite field. So you get to see a little something before taking off into the season. So I wanted to at least touch on that. But World Baseball Classic, rest of the spring training. Any other thoughts that you guys had, wanted to talk about? Any other topics besides prospects and everything?
Well, I was just going to say my other positive today, talking about the World Baseball Classic, is that we didn't have to roll out for the 10th inning like an exhibition game, even when we were getting shellacked like Team USA and who was that? The Giants a couple of days ago, because they needed to run another pitcher out there. I was like, that's nice. We didn't have to roll out for the 10th when we were getting slaughtered. Otherwise, this is, to be totally honest, like I have not really followed the World Baseball Classic a whole lot in years past. This is the first year that I'm really invested in it. And I think I just love the camaraderie of it. I love seeing, it's like the All-Star game on steroids. Like, all the players are across teams are having so much fun. I don't know if you guys saw the videos of Julio and his camcorder, just like running through the clubhouse and running on the field, just like taking video and trolling all the reporters. I'm like, I'm not giving you any of this. Like, it's just so fun. And I think, obviously on the more baseball side of things, it's going to be really cool to see how these different players perform, but it is fun to see the camaraderie and see the different teams come together and play each other, and everybody's friends. And
well, you're in for a treat too, because if you haven't been paying attention for the last couple of World Baseball Classics, this is so electric. This was one thing that was huge for the game of baseball when it was kind of introduced, and now, you're getting to see people play with their people from back home. You're getting to see how good of friends Fernando Tatis Jr. and Julio Rodriguez are, and you're just getting to see those bonds that go, I guess, just beyond baseball and everything. So that is fun. That is very fun to watch. And the heightened emotions, it's going to be emotional baseball for a little bit. And we're getting it in March, and I'm fired up for it. It's like watching the four nations, or the USA versus Canada in the gold medal hockey. You're going to get those heightened emotions. You're going to get those guys playing for a country. It's really, really fun to watch. And you get the kind of the usual four. USA is just so freaking good this year. Japan is usually top notch. I've heard their roster may not be exactly what they wanted it for this year, but they're still going to be very competitive. Dominican's going to be very competitive. And then every country is well represented. And man, I'm just super pumped for the rest of this. Wanted to throw it back over to you guys. Any other topics that you guys wanted to cover?
I think, one thing would say, you talk about Julio, center fielder. It's nice to see another center fielder kind of being up in the ranks with Johnny Farmello. I love that guy. I think, again, kind of log jammed as most of our outfield is, but looking at his numbers, love what he's doing. So I'm really excited to see just another center fielder kind of coming through. I'm hoping Mike Cameron's giving him some tutelage, and we've got places just in case we do get injuries. We've got, again, Dipoto doing a great job having a farm system and hopefully kind of creating inventory at each position. But beyond that, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and Emily, you mentioned it today kind of in your piece, but Castillo, are we seeing Are we seeing a guy that's just kind of using spring training to tool with some stuff, maybe try some different maybe strategies? Or is he, I mean, Gavin, you talked about he's, is that regression, are we seeing that regression, in real time? Or is this, again, do we panic or not panic? I guess that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I think you're right in the sense that it very well could be him just trying to work through some different pitches, try some different things. This is the time to do that. And so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, I think that that's likely. I know we saw that, especially with George and Logan, both with their first starts. I'm not familiar enough with like pitch sequencing, especially as you get further into spring training. I know with like the pitch counts and stuff, I don't know like when you would expect that maybe they wouldn't be doing that as much. Like how many starts into spring training are we going to see that change? But I mean, anytime I see Luis give up a bunch of home runs, even in spring training, it's concerning because that is his tendency. He's kind of that pitcher that you want to believe that he can lock it down, but a lot of times once the momentum swings in the opposite direction, he's the guy that, he just tends to do that. And so that's where I do get a little bit concerned, even if it is just spring training. So like, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to believe that he's just, trying out different pitches and giving his arm the best opportunity to try things and make sure everything's where he wants it. But he is that pitcher where it's like, he's just the guy that I feel like struggles with momentum. And so when an inning like that happens, he has a hard time coming back from it in a regular season game. And so that would be my concern for him. But I think it's too early to tell.
For reference, in case you turned off the game before the second inning got started, because it did not start off super hot, he went 1 1/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he gave up a bomb. So yeah, and we've definitely had that conversation before of when's that regression going to happen. I said it last year. I was expecting him to regress a little bit, and he did a little bit. It wasn't terrible, but once we got into the postseason, he was nails, and that's why you love the guy. It's the same way I love Max Scherzer at 40-something years old. It's why I was lobbying for him to become a Mariner, not only because I've heard he's an excellent human being outside of the game. I think he would fit seamlessly into this team, but the guy is also nails, and he's a team leader. That's somebody that you need to be. So yeah, that's why I'm leaning towards him being a 4 or 5. All in on him being just a 5 and saying, hey man, go out there, give us 5 or 6 innings and give us a chance to win. And then when it comes to postseason, let's go be the Rock, let's go be La Piedra, and let's go win some ball games and stuff. So interesting to see if this is a more regression year or if he didn't figure some stuff out. I always take when guys get tatted up like that in an inning in a third in spring training, I take it with a grain of salt, but it's a weighted scale for me, right? Like there's a little bit of, all right, like you still need to get outs at spring training, but you still need to get outs. And he didn't do that very well. So, what I'd like to go through his pitches and kind of dissect that a little bit more and see, was he missing his spots or was he just focusing on certain pitches in certain areas? It'd be interesting because I know I saw Brian Woo's outing not too long ago, and it looked like he had a very good grouping of up and into a lefty, and I feel like he was just working on up and into a lefty and every lefty he faced, and it ended up biting him a little bit. I think he got tatted up for a run or 2. So you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Wish I could be a fly on the wall and understand, hey, we're attacking this pitch in this location today. If it gets hit, it gets hit. So that's the other thing. You just got to take. I put it on the weighted scale. You still got to find outs though. So that's my final thoughts.
And honestly, today it didn't matter. I don't think it really would have mattered today. So it's like, is this the game you just go? You can't even take anything from this game. It was so bad. It didn't matter what you did or who was there. Everyone was going to fail.
The wind played a little bit of a fact. It didn't play the end all be all. Like we can blame the wind on 27 runs, or we can't. I think at some point in time, you still got to find outs. I know, once upon a time I coached college baseball. We played out in Yuma against Arizona Western. And yeah, there was like 20-mile-an-hour winds. The ball goes up in the air. It's a home run. And yeah, they put up 15 runs in the first 3 innings. Yet we had to do the same thing. Guys got to put the ball in the air. So by the 3rd inning, we were able to put up another 7 runs and at least make it a little bit of a football game. So yeah, no, I mean, again, it's spring training and there's it's a weighted scale that you got to put it on and everything. But wanted to throw it to you guys. Any final thoughts from we won't talk about this game, but any final thoughts from spring training that I guess you're just kind of excited for moving forward? Any position battles? Any final thoughts?
I think
it sounds like, no, I'm joking.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kyle.
No, I mean, I think right now, right with the baseball classic going on, there's just really nothing for, at least in spring training. It's okay. Maybe like who might be a surprise, who's going to take the opportunity and run with it. But for me, like my final thoughts are hey, I can't wait for the WBC to start, or not start, but like get into the real, like you get out of the pool play. I want to see when we really get into the, the nitty gritty of this thing.
I would say the one player that I'm really interested to see what he does for the rest of spring training is Cole Young. He's really like, I don't think he's performed the way that anybody really expected he would coming into spring training, just based on how hyped everybody was about his offseason work and kind of what he had done in the offseason. And I know he's contributed more over the last couple of games than he did, the first week or so spring training. But I'm just, I know that the front office and I know the team is really high on him. And I mean, I love Cole Young. I think he's great. I think he's got his spot, but I would love to see him lean in a little bit more into that offensive side. I mean, we saw his amazing stop yesterday at second base. Just like threw himself on the ground and got the out at first. It was super impressive. And so I have no doubts about I shouldn't say I have no doubts. I have less doubts about his defense right now in spring training than I do on his offense. But I would love to just see him really kind of figure some things out offensively so that we can all, as a fan base, and I think for his teammates as well, kind of look at him as a spot in the lineup, kind of where we did more towards the beginning of when he was called up last year. And when he was, I don't remember how many games it was over, but he was hitting like 285 and just, he was a menace at the plate. And so I'd love for him to figure that out.
Yeah. Well, for episode 36 of the Hold My Trident podcast, that's going to do it for us. And for Up West Sports, that's Emily, that's Kyle. I'm Gavin. Thanks for tuning in. And just remember, life's too short. Gas up your boys.